Hey, welcome everybody. This episode I'm going to be talking about the big news out of Warrior Land. Bob Myers stepping down of the GM position. That's going to leave a huge hole in the Warrior organization. Who's going to take over? What does it mean for the rest of the players and coaches? Like, what's the breakdown? So many questions. So, first things first, Bob Myers is out. It sounded like he thought he was done. He was out, not gonna have to deal with anything, no draft, no nothing. Well, Joe Lacomb's got other plans. He said he's gonna make him fill out his until June 30th, and you could tell Bonhart was like, wait, what? As he looked at his wife and kind of like, I don't know. I guess we're still in this. Still got a month to go. You can tell he thought he was done. Nope, got other plans for you, pal. But my thing's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I'm not a huge Warrior fan, as you can tell. I'm a Kings fan, but it's gonna be interesting to see the breakdown of what happens now. Could this is this the beginning of the end of their dynasty? I mean, who do they bring in? There's talk about Joe Lacomb's son, Kurt Lacombe. But if you're Joe Lacombe, you know this job is gonna be tough. Like your stars are on the down end. Do you really want to bring your son in and kind of not necessarily set him up for failure, but it's not going to be an easy job. It's not going to be one that he can easily do and like, okay, cool, we're good. So maybe you bring someone in on the outside and have them for a couple of years, and when they get the ship back up to selling, then you kind of scoot your son in there so he's got the easy job to so it's not so much. There you go, have fun because that's always tough to come in because the person they blame is you. He didn't do this, he didn't do that, he should have done this, he should have done that. This is why we're failing. So you have to wonder if Joe Lacob really wants to put his son in that situation. The other one is possibly Mike Dunleavy Jr. He's been talked about possibly getting promoted up to that. And like I said, I don't really know their whole situation, so maybe he goes to Dunleavy since he's within the organization. But there's, I mean, there's so many options. One that's kind of low, that's not really talked about too much. You hear it a little bit. Is maybe Steve Kerr pulls a Brad Stevens and he moves into the GM position and then they hire a new coach. But then that lies a problem of they're kind of, as you say, tardy to the party in hiring new coaches because all for the most part all the real good coaches they're taken now. They're interviewed somewhere. So you're kind of getting the what's left over, second fiddle, I guess you can say, of coaches. So, but like I said, I don't think that's what they'll do. Kerr will probably stick around for a couple of years and ride it out. But I mean, you never know. If he goes to GM, maybe the Warriors do what the Kings did, and they go over to Sacramento and they hire Jordy Fernandez from the Kings. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe that happens. But yeah, there's a bunch of questions, and then so that's a GM part. Now the player situation. So say they bring in a new GM. What happens with Draymond and Clay? Because that new GM, he has no loyalties to these players. He didn't draft them. He didn't do nothing with them. So who's to say that he comes in and says, okay, you know what? We're starting new. All these Clay, you're gone. Dre, you're gone. So it's gonna be interesting. I mean, who says Dre has a team player option? He may opt in and then demand a trade, and then bye. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's nothing, and it's just smooth selling. Dre comes back, Clay comes back, they make the playoffs again next year, and it's all for naught. I mean, who knows? It just you just never know with the NBA. It's something new every day. So I mean, say Dre comes back and says, you know what, I want to trade me, or else just trade me. I got that contract, I opted in. Now I'm out. Like, what happens then? Like, obviously he won't be happy, or maybe they keep them too. and they're able to trade a trade partner for Jordan Poole. There's talk about maybe the Celtics blowing it up. There's been rumors out there that the Warriors could trade like Moody, Kuminga, and Poole for Jaylen Brown on the Celtics. That would be huge. I wouldn't like it because I'm a Kings fan, so I would not like that for the Warriors because that would improve them mightily. They're right back up there. They go from here to here. So it's gonna be an interesting offseason for the Warriors. They got a lot of questions, not many answers right now. So is this the beginning of the end, or just kind of a? Are they going to stay up there, make some trades this offseason to stay up there to give one last ride to this core? I mean, who knows if they're able to re-sign Clay, or not re-sign, but give him that max and able to keep him if he can return to form. This playoffs was not good for him. It was not a good look for him. He did have a good final 2 months of the season, so going into the playoffs, he looked good, and then playoff time, something happened, and it was like he was forcing shots, not in the offense, and he just struggled. So maybe this offseason he's able to get back in the gym and practice and get into shape and get back to the old Clay. Because he even said this past offseason he didn't feel comfortable playing pickup. He was so afraid of getting injured again. So maybe he's able to get in the gym, work on his game, practice more, get that jump shot going, and return to the old Clay. Anything's possible. He's not young, but he's not old. He can. There's still a chance he can find that. So we'll see. I, maybe this new GM will have something. So it's tough. So like I said, we'll see what they do with the GM situation. Maybe the coaches or the Joe Lakin just promotes his son, and bam, they're off and running right like how they have been. If you like what I'm talking about, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. See you on the other side.